overseas, I'm very unfamiliar with the costs of taxation. Of course, the NEC projector it's a Japanese projector, so there are some issues there. But I think it goes as for anything that you should have one company in each country that is representing a manufacturer, and they are selling the equipment through. So it's not like you buy it from NEC and you buy it from Christie, but it's so I'm really not an expert in this field.
Este es un grupo de preguntas que tiene que ver con el pago de los derechos de las copias, depende del tipo de contenido de que estemos hablando, ya sea un cine alternativo, cine narrativo en sentido tradicional. Hay una pregunta que tiene que ver, es la siguiente: ¿cómo es legalmente el sistema de adquisición de las películas y de la transmisión de diferentes eventos y de contenidos alternativos? ¿Habría una diferencia entre uno y otro para el pago, para la adquisición?
I understand. Well, for cinema, and this is quite interesting because it could be argued in forms of traditional film, we still have the exact same business model as for 35mm. The distributor gets the exact same amount of money for the films, even if they have much smaller costs. So that could also, of course, be politically argued within the industry. But this is the way it is today. And in Sweden, this means that the distributor generally gets 45% of the revenue, and the exhibitor gets 55% of the revenue. In terms of alternative live content, everyone offering up opera, theater, ballet, whatever, it has become some sort of standard that it's a revenue share model with 50% to the distributor, 50% to the exhibitor, but no minimum guarantee, which is generally the case for cinemas, in Sweden at least. So it's a risk that both parties take, that it could come one person or 200 people, you never know. But that's the way it works today. And my organization, because we have to be funded by something, we take 5% of the total revenue from the live screenings and from the films we program, sort of, which is our bread and butter and what we have to live off.
En el caso de tu experiencia particular con el circuito de salas en Suecia, ¿cómo es el trabajo? O sea, ¿se hace, por ejemplo, una programación en conjunto simultáneamente o cada sala tiene autonomía? En ese caso, ¿cómo funciona?
We have, in my organization, we have 4 people working with the central programming of all cinemas, but they do it together with the local cinema. So if the cinema says, well, in my town, we cannot use Hollywood action movies. We want to have children's films and we want to have love dramas for the middle-aged women in town. Then, of course, our programmers are adjusting to that. But mainly, we do central programming. And in terms of the alternative content, we don't own any of the cinemas that we work with. So I can only beg them, could you please screen this? And I have to do lovely presentation materials with lots of images and a trailer, and you should do this is wonderful, this is great, blah blah blah. And sometimes they will take the bait and sometimes not. So that's how we do it.
En el caso de la proyección de eventos que son en vivo, es decir, que están siendo transmitidos de manera simultánea, ¿hay alguna diferencia en el pago de los derechos de la emisión de ese evento al de, por ejemplo, una copia que ya fue producida o es una película?
Yes, it's just a 50-50 revenue share. That's it. So that's the only thing. I mean, because what you need for the live broadcast is a satellite dish on the roof and an HD receiver in your projection room. And actually, we are working with consumer products. So we have a 1-meter dish, and we have a consumer receiver which costs approximately 500 euros. So it's very affordable to the cinemas. It's not like the server, which is like 10,000 euros. But this is cheap equipment. So we actually, in our contract, we demand that they have 2 satellite receivers. So if one breaks down, you can just plug in the other one. Because you don't want to have 200 people leaving the venue and having their money back. So it's a very cheap insurance.
¿Conoces alguna experiencia similar a la de tu organización en Europa o en otra parte del mundo?
Well, we know for for sure that the Metropolitan Opera has been a big success in many countries. But I think the general consensus is that it works really well in the big cities because it's the big exhibitors who have the multiplexes who are doing a lot of the live performances. So I'm not sure about the rural areas, and maybe do you have any experience from France regarding the small towns? Yeah. So I think it's a quite a unique thing, and I mean I think that in Sweden, with a very small audience, with very small population, in a very big country, it's quite unique that we have more than 100 cinemas doing this. I think we are like the 5th country in the world in terms of the number of cinemas. So it would be like you would have 100 cinemas in Bogota doing live broadcasts. If you could just look at the population, of course, but then we have the distances.
Bueno, hay una pregunta que se enfoca frente al reto educativo que suscita el cine digital. ¿Consideras que debería haber ya desde la educación escolar una asignatura o un espacio para empezar a educar estos nuevos públicos en toda la diversidad de lo que significa el cine digital?
That's a beautiful question. The Metropolitan Opera already has encore screenings of their operas for school children in the greater New York area, and they're offering this to other parts of the world as well. So it is free of charge, and they also offer a study material about the opera, about the time it was made, and about the theme of the opera. So I think this is a great idea to educate children about other art forms and also film. And in Sweden we have a national scheme of school cinema, which means that if you have a French lesson, you can go and see a French movie. If you have a lesson on history, on World War II, you can see Schindler's List during daytime as part of this education in the local cinema. And of course the local cinemas will have much more variety of films to choose from for these school screenings. So absolutely, I think it's a great idea to use this in a beneficial way for cultural purposes for a younger audience.
Bueno, le agradecemos a Richard con todo lo que compartió con nosotros, a ustedes por estar aquí, por sus preguntas. Los invitamos entonces